Fans of the Beatles have been deeply moved by the resurfacing of an article suggesting that John Lennon and Paul McCartney nearly reunited shortly before Lennon's death. The emotional wave began when a user on a Beatles-themed subreddit posted a segment from a 2018 New Jersey Stage article discussing a play written by Stephen Larson. The play centers on a fictionalized meeting between John and Paul on November 5, 1980, exploring the possibility of reconciliation between the former bandmates. The post included a screenshot of Larson's response to a question about whether this meeting was based on historical fact or merely part of the narrative. Larson explained that he believed the event to be real, citing information from Jack Douglas, Lennon's producer during the Double Fantasy sessions. According to Douglas, Lennon and McCartney reportedly had at least one songwriting session at the Dakota, Lennon's New York residence. A second session was allegedly planned but canceled due to a mix-up. Lennon was informed Paul wasn't coming, while Paul was told John was too busy. This miscommunication, Larson noted, prevented what might have been a historic reunion. That revelation struck a chord with fans, who lamented the missed opportunity for reconciliation between the two legends. The original poster titled the thread with a heartfelt message expressing how learning more about Paul and John often brings them to tears. Other fans chimed in with strong emotional reactions. One expressed frustration at whoever had misinformed Paul, wishing they had faced consequences. Another speculated that, had Lennon not been murdered on December 8, 1980, a Beatles reunion in the 1980s would have been inevitable. A different fan recalled rumors that the two were planning to collaborate again and had even attempted to book studio time in New York that December. When they couldn't find a suitable location, they reportedly planned to try again in January 1981. While many responded emotionally to the possibility of a lost reunion, some urged others to remain cautious about treating the story as definitive fact. One commenter questioned the authenticity of the claim, pointing out that Paul had never publicly mentioned such a writing session. They suggested that, had it truly occurred, Paul would likely have spoken about it when reflecting on his time with John, possibly even calling it the last Beatles song. The commenter concluded that while the idea was touching, the lack of evidence suggested it may not have happened. Historically, the last confirmed recording session between Lennon and McCartney took place in 1974. That session occurred 4 years after Paul had publicly announced the band's breakup, which stemmed from various creative and personal differences. Although Lennon had privately informed the group of his decision to leave back in September 1969, it was Paul who made the split official in a press release. The Beatles, consisting of John, Paul, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr, also faced turmoil following the death of their manager, Brian Epstein. Prolonged legal disputes over their music rights eventually led to the band's official dissolution in December 1974. Despite their past tensions, Paul and John had shared a close friendship since first meeting in 1957. Though their relationship grew strained over time, the two eventually made peace, something Paul publicly confirmed both in 1984 and again in 2023. Following the group's breakup, the pair had one final informal studio session in Los Angeles, resulting in the unfinished bootleg recording A Toot and a Snore in '74.